Okay. Looks like it's saying upcoming. Okay, there we go. I'm live. It's always a delay with my computer. Let me mute this. I'm learning. Perfect. All right. I only have about 10 minutes to be on, but I wanted to talk a little bit about how every single person in your reality is your mirror. Oh, my headphone or my microphone isn't on. There we go. Awesome. So everyone in your reality is your mirror. Oops. Every single person. Doesn't mean that every single person is a mirror soul. Okay. And I can only speak from experience. Butterfly, it's so funny. Of course, you're the first one on. Like, give you some love because I was like literally going to reach out to you because I didn't get a chance to answer your question. I was like, how do I reach out to her? I was like, do I reach out through her channel? And then, of course, you're there. So I got you. So I'm going to see if I can. Jenna, oh my goodness. I was literally just thinking about you too. You guys are killing me. I love, see, perfect example. You guys are we're all mirroring each other. We're literally all just one. I wanted to talk a little bit about Sherilyn. You got the Gorin hat yesterday, and I was so excited to see that. This is killing me. So anyway, I'm I wanted to talk a little bit about deep soul connections because somebody specifically asked about that. So I just wanted to speak, and you guys have to remember when I'm teaching and explaining things, it's always just from my oh my God, Jenna, it's always just from my personal experience. Jenna wrote, I have so much to tell you about so much movement with my SP. Girl, come on, just email me. Butterfly. Okay, awesome. Good morning, Karina. Thank you for coming on. All right. So somebody asked me through a comment under a recent video if I could explain the difference between deep soul connections and just like people who were lightly dating. And I feel like I've been creating videos for a couple years now. And if you were to go back and watch my older videos, when I say things like this is just my experience or this video is specifically about deep soul connections. Thank you for emailing me, Jenna. Specifically about deep soul connections, not just lightly dating. What I mean is everyone in your reality is mirroring stuff back to you. You are multifaceted. You are a multifaceted being. You are more than just this human form. You are also God in human form. That's how God creates through you. You're an instrument of God, right? So the people in your reality are the same. In your reality, they're mirroring and showing you parts of yourself for you to look at that you can decide, yes, yes, this is something I choose to continue believing in, or no, this is not serving me or my life, so I'm letting this go. If your self-concept is sometimes people love themselves and they still experience horrible things with people. That's usually because they have a fear that could be from either observing some sort of abuse or even having experienced some sort of abuse with an ex, could be an ex spouse or whatever. Because of those experiences, and it's still active within them, they may end up experiencing a toxic and harmful situation with somebody. Now, I completely always teach from the perspective also of infinite versions of everybody. That being said, I am never going to say that if you're in an abusive, toxic situation that you stay for it. You have to have boundaries. That being said, this is where it becomes kind of complicated. And as a coach wanting to be responsible, I try to be as clear as I possibly can. I made some notes on examples of like this is just abuse, but you could also be perceiving things, seeing things this way when it's not actually the case because you're seeing things through a filter of if you have like PTSD or CPTSD from things from childhood, okay? So these are things that I would say don't stay for these things, okay? And this would be something that I don't see as a deep soul connection. I would see this as something that's just abuse, and you want to really realize that this person is mirroring stuff within you for you to look at, release, let go, so you can see that relationships are safe and secure, and it's safe for you to be loved in a relationship. It's safe for you to be yourself. You're always seen, you're always heard, you're perfect in everything you say and everything that you do. You are chosen, you are complete and whole, you are healthy, you're stable, you're grounded, you're cool, calm, collected, you are in your power. And from there, you are manifesting healthy relationships that are nurturing, safe, secure, of equal value. Okay? Thank you, JRL. Thank you. So these are things that I would say, move on. They were insulting your appearance and intelligence. They were humiliating you in front of family and friends and others. And I manifested this stuff with exes before I met my Marisol. Okay? Attempting to destroy you, destroy your reputation, destroy your property, and the things that you care about. Seeing where people are actually healthy relationships in your reality and doing things to cause a wedge between them, okay, between you and people in your life that actually care about you and that are actually healthy relationships. They want to turn others against you. They want to turn you against others so they can isolate you. Straight up abuse. That is the physical manifestation of straight up abuse. Here's the tricky thing. But this is where you have to be like super loving yourself and valuing yourself. For some people, when you've grown up with severe traumatic experiences, you might see a healthy relationship from those filters. So then you can step back from it and say, okay, was this actually true? Did they actually say and do these things? Or is there evidence that they were actually loving? Is there evidence that they were actually healthy? Is there evidence that they were actually good to me? If there was, then you recognize and you realize that the filter that you were seeing them through was untrue. Okay, now, when it comes to, now I'm so sorry because I only have 5 minutes. When it comes to deep soul connections, this is just my experience, okay? Oh my God, how do I say this? Because I don't want you guys to not, this is so tricky because I don't want you guys to not manifest somebody who is worth it, like somebody that, you're just seeing them from the scary filter. This is why I think it's kind of best, as I'm saying this, to just step back from it a little bit and do the work and the love for yourself. Because even one of my clients who's on today, and I'm not going to call you out on it at all, that some people mistake experiences as this is the one, this is the deep soul connection. But then when they go deep in and they give themselves all the love that they want and that they deserve, and they see themselves through others' eyes, they have a new value for themselves, then they end up manifesting this deep soul connection that I'm talking about. It's like this precise mirroring. It's not always perfect rainbows and butterflies either. It can it's kind of a journey that happens because now you get to see all the limiting beliefs you have around love. But in my personal experience with me and my mirror soul, in the beginning, the fears that came up were precisely things that I was fearful about of engaging in a relationship. It was like precise. But we also had, and this doesn't mean that it's going to be the same. You could have a deep soul connection and not have this experience. So this is why, you can't always go by what coaches are saying, including myself. You kind of have to just be truthful and honest with yourself, but you do it from a loving place when you get to a strong, empowered place to know whether it's worth it or not to continue with this person. But we mirrored each other so precisely that like we have the same products. We bought the same appliances. We had the same wallet. We had the same, a lot of similar, like completely in sync. We loved the same music. We practically had the same style of cooking and eating every day. When we would talk on the phone, for example, we'd be on the phone. If I looked in the mirror at a pimple, out of nowhere, he says, pimple, something about pimple. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? And we would just laugh. This happened like, so as we were like getting deeper and deeper and deeper, it was just over the top ridiculous. So it doesn't mean that that's going to be your experience. We also support each other and love each other and are there for each other. We also get in our fears and wounds and then may make negative assumptions about each other. Okay. So, what are some other things with a deep soul connection? Things that you perceive might seem to be, whoa, that's abusive. But then when you really step back at it, you're like, that's how I was seeing it. That wasn't actually abusive. So it was my perception because I was looking at it through that filter. No matter what, whatever you're experiencing in your reality is your manifestation. But if you're manifesting from being the wounded version of you, this is one of the most important things to understand. If you're manifesting being the wounded version of you, then you are going to manifest from that filter. You're not being the highest and best version of yourself. So you're going to be skewing your perception of others in your reality. Okay? I hope that makes sense. So butterfly, I have 2 minutes to my next session. Okay, so Jenna is going to email me. I can't wait to hear it. Kimberly, I never met my SP in person. We are twin souls. Awesome. And a lot of people in the community with Law of Assumption don't believe that there's any difference between twin souls, mirror souls, soulmates, this and that. And that's because remember the crux, the very crux of the Law of Assumption is that you're creating your reality from your belief system. So if you believed in those kinds of connections, once you get to a place of loving yourself, and I'm talking a place of stability and security and truly valuing yourself, then you most likely will end up calling that into your experience because that's in your belief system. But if you don't believe in that, then you won't end up experiencing that. It's that simple. You can't, people in the community, in the Law of Assumption community, can't say that those things don't exist if the person who everybody's reality is reflecting them. So if you believe that this is a deep soul connection, then it is. Okay. But please don't take that as like making an excuse for the toxic stuff that I mentioned. That's true abuse in the beginning of this. Okay. Love yourself, value yourself, respect yourself, see that in others, see them feeling that way about you, and only allowing those healthy connections and those healthy versions of people in your reality. But don't continue to manifest from the trauma, from the wound, from that filter. Okay. And then there are this other collective groups of people who try to manifest and they just aren't coming from that empowered place because they tried to skip over, maybe because they saw a video saying, you don't have to do the inner work, you can just, and then because they already had kind of a predisposition to having mental health issues, this process drained them and then they're completely victimized and they don't believe in themselves anymore. And then they're also dragging other people down because they're like, this isn't true. And then that's very sad too. I feel like a lot of compassion, a lot of empathy for that, but geez, like stop dragging other people in through the mud with you. You know what I mean? Anyway, I love you so much. I didn't get to answer Butterfly's question. Maybe I'll come on live tomorrow. And I love you. Please do take in what I said and remember that everybody's experience is different, including my own. Okay. What else? You were describing the reasons I left my last marriage that was now here, Mike. Yeah, I went through that too. I got to get over to my client. I love you guys. This was just a short and sweet message for you. I'm going to give you guys a whole bunch of love. JRL dropping in love with you, Queen. Thank you so much. Sending out a whole bunch of love to you guys. I just accidentally removed something and I'm so sorry for whatever that was. So anyway, I love you guys. Please get in your power, get in the love for yourself and see yourself through other people's eyes. Okay. Because it is truly how people will see you. So I love you. Have an amazing and incredible day. Keep manifesting, but keep manifesting from being the most powerful version of you. Have an amazing day. Goodbye. Trying to end this without cutting my